Hey folks, this is Ben Gessel. How's it going? I'm just making a quick video here while my phone is getting recharged. So I'm inside, of course. I might make another video tonight, we'll see. But this is kind of a part 2 to what I was talking about before earlier today regarding clowns and stuff. But I want to go over more in detail why I might have done a video like quite a while back on this subject, but I want to go over why I thought that the original Stephen King, made for TV miniseries, whatever, was so good, and why the more recent Stephen King remake, and I made like a review of it a while back, and I certainly liked it, but I want to talk about why this remake was still, in a way, kind of, we'll just say, in many respects, it's kind of the number 2 still. It's not a bad remake. It's actually quite good, and most folks I think like it better than the old one. But in some respects, it doesn't quite hold up. And let's talk about why. Okay, so, and I mentioned a lot of things about color in the last video, and that's actually, I'm going to go with that same theme, talking about this, because the one thing that the 1990 made for TV miniseries version of, Stephen King's It. The one thing that it was focused on, other than Pennywise and how scared the kids were and how scared everybody was of Pennywise and all that stuff, the one thing was, guess what? Color. We all love Tim Curry's. I mean, Tim Curry made that movie. He made it. He was amazing. Just outstanding. There's just no words to describe how good he was in that role. It was like Jack Nicholson playing the Joker. It was that iconic, right? Tim Curry, Pennywise, Jack Nicholson, Joker. He was that good. But again, if you guys haven't seen the video I made about clowns in color, definitely check out that video. It will make a lot of sense. And it's not rocket science, folks. It's just a lot of folks seem to not really understand how big of a deal color is in regard to the subject of clowns, and scary clowns or nice clowns, gestures and all that stuff. Mimes are different, but it is similar. But mimes don't just have the white and black thing going on, I know. So a few things here. Okay. So right off the bat, at the beginning of Stephen King's It, you have a scene where, he goes after the little girl. And you're already getting an overcast Maine sky. You're already getting the green grass in the house, the little girl with freckles. You get Pennywise and his nose peeking out from behind those clothes that the mom's drying. Yeah, it's everything. Everything. I do mean everything. Every color is everything that. I don't remember who the director was, but the director was also behind so many of the decisions that made. Was it like Tommy Wallace or something? Something like that. Everything was very much on purpose, color-wise. Everything. Like, you have no idea how much the director was thinking about this one subject of color. It was really purposeful. Really purposeful. And then you go from, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. The rainy day, and then like the, I can't remember what the black guy's name was exactly. Might come back to me here in a bit, but so anyway, the nice guy, black guy, bachelor guy, he's, the yellow raincoats and the green grass and the I think it was Mike Hanlon is the one I'm talking about. It's a very overcast beginning. It's rainy. It's depressing. It's, and that was done on purpose. It was done on purpose. This all adds to the atmosphere of the movie. And then, let's kind of skip forward a little bit, I guess, because there's a lot of flashbacks in the movie. So at this point in this video, I'm going to talk about probably won't get to all the scenes, but I just go for the most colorful ones. I was trying to go, bit by bit through this more chronologically, but there's just too much ground to cover. So there's a scene where a lot of this has every kid in the Losers Club is scared of something different. I think it's the Jewish kid who's scared of big birds. Stan the Urus. And, this movie might have some spoilers, so if you haven't seen the 1990 version, which, it's been out for quite some time, by all means, go see it. I don't want to spoil anything for you, but this is kind of a movie review somewhat, so you just have to keep in mind there might be some spoilers here. But so don't watch this video until you see it, okay, the 1990 version. So, obviously, the big bird, right? The red, the orange, and the yellow. Kind of like Big Bird Sesame Street. It's emphasizing the bird. You kind of don't really... What you see is some big creature. You see the big orange puffy things on its clothing. But it's emphasizing that orange, the oranges and the yellows, and the bird, right? So it's weird because they're brighter colors, but he's slowly coming down the stairs, the big bird, or whatever it is, the monster, right? I won't talk about too much right now, but it was definitely, again, it's all about those bird colors. And the werewolf that was in the basement of the school custodial area, whatever, that the funny guy, played by Seth Green, right? This bright red hair, The colors down there are a little bit more darker grays. The werewolf, it was Richie Tozier, right? Talking about Richie Tozier. The werewolf, of course, brown. Nothing too amazing, nothing too striking there. But I was, just with regard to the colors of the school, they picked a school that I think resonated in my memory very well, because it had a lot of that kind of lime green color, or a lot of the, we'll just say, colors that came generally more from the 60s and 70s, even though this was a 1990 movie. And there's also, they're trying to, I think, evoke some kind of feel of it being in that era. So, of course, 50s, 60s, really. We'll just say 50. The color scheme was a lot more 50s, 60s, to be honest. The color of the cafeteria being lime green, it already reminds you of school lunch food, that sort of thing, in the United States. Yeah. And all the familiar smells that come from that stuff. It's funny how colors can do that, and that's what they're after. So a lot of times you'll see in that movie bright green grass next to Pennywise, who's got the white face and the red nose and the red hair and the yellow costume and the purple and blue frilly neck thing that he has. And all those colors contrast. They're bright colors. They're very, very bright and vivid. Contrast with the grass. The contrast with, watching the movie is an immersion in color itself. I mean, if you watch Alice in Wonderland, you're getting a lot of color as well, but you're probably getting, in a way, the color scheme in Alice in Wonderland was featured a lot of vivid colors, yes, but you're getting a lot of flower colors and a lot of magentas, from the Cheshire Cat and purples and black in the background. This movie, the 1980 version, had a lot, I do mean a lot of greenery. A lot of greenery. A lot of foresty green, green grass, contrasting with clown stuff, yellow and red, and that you know, that's one of the biggest things I can mention in general. The Chinese restaurant, when they're adults, was very red, and that red, you know, may have suggested that Pennywise was very much there. You know, these little subtle hints, you know, that we don't always think about. And the Chinese view red very positively, generally speaking, but yeah. And then, just, you know, there's so many things to mention here. I'm just trying to pick some here. Let's see. Let's go with, I'll just keep going through I mean, there was a kind of not a garbage area, but a junkyard that was a scene where the Losers Club, all these guys fight the bad guys. And it wasn't as colorful, but, you know, the rusty look of the rusted iron with the dirt, you know, the contrast with a lot of the other colors in the movie. This is kind of like, you know, the dirt and the rusty iron, you know, you'll smell. For me, when I smell rusty iron, it's like, it's not really an unpleasant smell, but it's not exactly a pleasant smell. And I'm often reminded of, you know, with the dirt and the grass and whatever mud, I'm reminded of schoolyard fights. I'm reminded of, you know, it's not really very fun. You know, I mean, not necessarily, you know, not really, it's a bit rough and tumble kind of environment. Well, that's the best way of putting it. The school itself and the classroom, some of the interior room colors, a lot of white, but not like pure white, but kind of, it's a lot of these rooms, a lot of places in the movie felt a little bit sterile. Not quite like a hospital, but like, it wasn't super cozy feeling. In the white, it was almost like, well, I think what was probably going on with Stephen King and the director of the movie. Yeah. So a lot of people were trying to whitewash things that they'd rather not think about. And just pretending things were okay. That's probably what was going on a lot of times with that choice of color of white being in the walls of rooms and classrooms and things. So I mentioned that there's a lot of greenery, a lot of color in general. The library, of course, being more muted browns, more variety colors. I imagine Stephen King, this is where Stephen King probably really shows his personality and colors a bit more. For Stephen King, the library was his haven. It was his sanctuary. It was his place he retreated to just survive and to, you know, live and to be himself and to, you know, you know, yeah. And so, you know, the colors used in the library were warmer because there was more warmth there. For Stephen King, there's warmth in books. He loves the smell of old books and all that stuff. So that's why, you know, and the libraries were inviting. All of them were very inviting. They had nice people working there. You know, it was almost like, it just had a very relaxing feeling about the libraries. Whenever you had any library scene whatsoever, unless Pennywise was messing with them. A lot of these things just go overlooked. You don't always think about this stuff as much. But yeah, color, it's huge. It's huge. And I was talking about this color-wise. You know, just getting I already mentioned, you know, green I think comes up a lot with grass and nature. and red, of course, with the Chinese restaurant and Pennywise himself, and blood everywhere. You know, when Beverly is at home and her dad is mistreating her, stuff. You know, I guess remember that probably that the really scary scene where there's that blood that comes out of the drain, the sink. There's that big bubble that forms and just splatters everywhere, and there's blood everywhere. Of course, the weird thing is that her dad can't see the blood at all. Her dad is abusive. Yeah. But it's striking. It's the white sink, 50s style. Well, it was actually, that house was probably older than that. It was getting older, for sure. Before World War II era, probably, for that house. And Bill Denborough's house, it was a little bit newer. Probably like, you know, post, like the 50s are on. But Beverly's house was definitely older. And her dad was poorer, that sort of thing. But yeah, the white contrasting with the red, huge deal in that scene. Huge. And then, of course, talking about the color white, I mentioned color white already somewhat, but it's dead lights, kind of yellow-white-ish, was a yellowish color. Something very sickly, like, I think Stephen King was thinking more about pus and really rotten stuff, decaying things, using yellow in that kind of pussy, infected, yeasty kind of train of thought. You know, yellow teeth, cavities and stuff, nasty yellow. Not just the bird yellow and the prettier yellow flowers, that sort of thing, but the gunky, nasty yellow side. So I was going to mention something. Yeah, the tunnels, the sewers in general. We'll say the tunnels leading to where its hideout was. There's a lot of grays and green, actually. Green, there's a lot of glowy colors down there, but the grays and the blacks are a big deal, of course. You know, being just darker and scarier. But the green, the glowing green colors, or anything glowing, like there's red here and there, green, probably some other colors. Anything glowing was kind of like suggesting either faint glimmers of hope that what they're gonna make it out okay, they're gonna be okay. You know, color, light, right, in a dark area. But green was very prominent in a lot of those, you know, scenes. Green and red and stuff, but mainly those two colors. But I remember green especially, and green can be very sinister in that regard. It can be very slimy, and a lot of times you think of maybe like Slytherin, like with Harry Potter with dark green and something serpent-like. Glowing green, you know, just something kind of, I think Stephen King was after something kind of more unearthly, something that was alien. We'll use the word alien. I think alien is closer to what we're looking at. Green, if red is blood or being human, or not just human, but if red is us, right? We're red-blooded. Green then was it was different, and that's kind of one of the feelings I got. You know, is that it was just something kind of more of a foreign, this glowing green kind of thing was more of a foreign idea. And then, you know, with blue doesn't, I mean, other than Pennywise, because I don't think, how can I put this? You see the blue diamond thing, the blue diamond shape idea with Joaquin Phoenix's Joker movie. That's really where you see that more recently. They didn't use that with Tim Curry's makeup, and that's just fine. He didn't need it. Might have been overkill. But, you know, despite that, the color blue does have a presence somewhat. And you might see that more, there's kind of that blue-gray authority kind of thing. It was in Silent Asylum. That was more of a gray motif, though. But policemen, right? In their dark blue uniforms. Of course, there's a little bit of blue and purple in Pennywise's outfit. And I know I'm forgetting something here. By the way, I'm going to talk about Black real quick with licorice. It was interesting that licorice was the old man's favorite candy. And the black licorice idea can suggest, or black can suggest evil. That's kind of a very subtle thing as well. And licorice being kind of chewy and anyway, there's something to that. Getting back to blue for a sec, just kind of thinking over everything in my mind. See, the thing is that this was Maine. The whole thing was situated at least in the Northeast. The whole Derry, Maine. And it wasn't really that far from the ocean. I'm trying to think if there's any scenes where there's a lot of water, sky scenes, and nothing really comes to mind, but I know. There's some scenes, I think, in England when the main character, Bill, as an adult, has to leave. And then also some scenes here and there in the city where you do see like a view of the water. Usually blue is, I think, portrayed in Stephen King's the 1990 version. Blue is portrayed as more of a nicer color, I should say. Maybe more representing authority, it's true, but something more, just, I think more it's represented more in a nicer way, where it's a good color, right? Lighter blues, as opposed to darker blues would be authority. So blue doesn't really factor in as much. Not so much, but it's still there a little bit. Of course, purple, similar deal with Pennywise's collar thing, the blue-purple stripes. So purple is kind of still there in some places, but it's still somewhat secondary in importance, I think, to the main colors in this movie being green, for a lot of green, white, red, yellow, orange, black and gray, and like I mentioned white, I think. Yeah, white. So white, yellow, orange, red, green, gray and black, and brown just a little bit, not so much. Again, just a werewolf and. But the purple and the blue colors, I want to mention one more thing about this before I mention anything else. Even though they don't show up as often, when they do show up, they make quite a striking effect. Yeah, that's the funny thing about color. You know, when you see certain colors and they're rarer, let's say they're rarer in a movie, it still doesn't mean they're less important. Because where is the one place, who is the one character that is always wearing that, collar? That blue, purple striped collar. Yeah, blue and purple striped collar. Well, it's Pennywise. He's got the orange and the yellow get up, right? And the red nose and the red hair, and the white face, and that striped blue and purple thing. Because I was thinking about what else did you see other colors in the movie, and it really doesn't. You don't see a whole. I mean, flowers maybe here and there, and maybe certain houses that have certain colors like that, but no, it doesn't show up very often. So when you do see the yellow-orange thing, and you do see that blue-purple striped collar, it's like you make that a color association with Pennywise. And you know what it is? It's the red and the white for the clown thing. It's the yellow and orange for he's big chubby guy, big clown shoes, klutzy, hoo, the clown thing, and then the blue-purple collar for something a little bit more mysterious. We don't know what. You don't see the blue eyes, the blue diamond-shaped eyes are not there, but the collar, and I think there's some other things about his outfit that had some of the blue and purple. So all those colors, contrasting colors, zany. We'll say zany, a little zany, not as zany as Killer Clowns from Outer Space, but that. But yeah, I mean, these little details. So, what is it about blue and purple that, why is it the poofy collar thing? There's a European kind of dress in a way. I mean, Pennywise is dressed a little bit like a European clown in a way, with the fancy neck collar. And there's something to that, I think. Maybe kind of hinting at how old this guy is, somewhat. And blue and purple can represent not only age, but also knowledge and authority of some type, and something, not, I mean, a lot of stuff that is not as obvious. Power, even. You think red and black are the power colors, yeah, but purple's mysterious and blue is, talking about intelligence, talking about knowledge and stuff. Pennywise is extremely intelligent, insane. He's almost, it's like a demon. There's like the guy knows things about people that they don't even know themselves but themselves. And I mean, he's demonic, right? But sheesh, I don't know. So that's what maybe those colors might represent. And these are a lot of the things that we fear the most in clowns regarding color. We would fear any being that knows things about ourselves that no one else could know. That's, the frightening evil in that entity's eyes. The unfathomable evil, and if they know all this secret stuff about us, they could, we wonder if they could just kill us whenever they wanted to, but they're just toying with us. That's evil. This is real evil. Anyway, I think I've given this subject some justice. It was long deserved. Should have made this video a long time ago. I know it's been in the back of a lot of people's minds that are fans of this movie. And it goes without saying now why I think this movie is so amazing. And why the remake, you see the red balloons. They're not even multicolored. Yeah. I know what they're after, but it just didn't, it was different. It's just different. I can't put my finger on it, despite whatever cheesy acting people attribute to the first version. The second one just, again, seems at times very contrived, formulaic, and, and also the colors. The colors are vivid, but they're not as vivid. The reds and the greens are so vivid in the original version. You get red balloons, you get red, right? The house itself, funny thing is that in the more recent version, the house, they went into a house rather than the sewers. Or they didn't even, I don't even know, did they have a house? Or I don't know, everything is just different. And they cover a lot of ground in the new one that they didn't cover so much in the first one. It's true. If you watch both of them, I think you get the full gist of the story. Yeah, it's the best way of putting it. You certainly get a lot of red and gray, clownish red, and yeah, similar colors, I think that this setting for the second one had a little bit less of the really vivid, deep greens that they used because they filmed it in Vancouver, BC. So that's why it's so green, And then the new version had more cliff scenes, more blue water. They had more water. They're swimming and stuff, which is nice. But it felt more like a vacation at times, in a way, with the cliffs and the swimming and the whatever. And it had a different feel to it. They're both great movies, but I lean toward the first one a bit more myself. Okay, you guys leave me thoughts and comments below. Check out both movies still. I
I don't think I've spoiled very much, but color, it's a big deal in these movies. All right, you guys take care. Talk to you soon. Bye.